everybody, welcome back to Arbitrary 20. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Player's Handbook, Playtest 8, Unearthed Arcana. For this video specifically, we'll be taking a look at the Barbarian class.
Yeah, so we'll start off with the base class here. First up, Rage now gets a expended use back on a short rest. So now the Barbarian actually gets something on a short rest. I think they were the only class left that didn't. Getting a Rage back is nice. I think with this and the 10-minute Rage, you should pretty much always be able to have a Rage when you want it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that my experience of Barbarian, I've never really had any issues keeping Rage up, but now it feels like you don't have to be as frugal with your uses. You can use it more often, out of combat, in combat.
And then next up we have a brand new feature replacing Brutal Critical, which is Brutal Strike. Glad this is finally gone. It's a new feature that lets you trade advantage granted by your reckless attack for some different tactical options. So I'll go down to level 9 where you first get Brutal Strike. So you can forgo the advantage. If the attack hits, you get an extra d10 damage. And then you can apply one of the following Brutal Strike effects and you unlock more later. First up, you get Forceful Blow. The target is pushed 15 feet straight away from you, and then you can move up to half your speed straight towards the target without provoking opportunity attacks. Or you can do Hamstring Blow. The target's speed is reduced by 15 feet until the start of your next turn. And then later on, you end up getting 2 more. At level 13, you get Staggering Blow. They have disadvantage on their next saving throw they make, and then it can't make opportunity attacks until the start of your next turn. And then lastly, you get Sundering Blow. Your blow leaves an opening in the creature's defenses for an ally until the start of your next turn. The next attack roll made by another creature gains a bonus to the roll equal to your rage damage, which at this level I believe would be a +3, so +3 to their next hit. And then lastly for Brutal Strike at level 17, the damage increases to 2d10 and you can use 2 Brutal Strike effects on the same hit. So pretty cool overall, definitely better than Brutal Critical, I think. I wish the damage was a little bit more, because I think in terms of damage, like just keeping advantage is probably better, especially if you have like feats and things or subclass things giving you additional damage. Advantage is just going to be better to increase your chance to hit. But the effects are all pretty cool. I think the best one is probably Staggering Blow, to set up one of your allies, like big spells or something.
Yeah, I mean, this makes me super happy. It's like you said earlier with the getting rid of Brutal Critical. Brutal Critical, it was
the worst feature in the game. Or one of.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to put it nicely, but yeah, there's no other way around it. It wasn't a very good feature, and I'm happy to see it go. And this is way cooler because you get to actually do some cool stuff with it. Yeah. I like the different effects that you get along with it. In terms of damage, you're getting just extra 2d10, right? 18 or 17, I should say.
Yeah, it'll be 1d10, and then at 17 you get 2d10, which
so
isn't bad, but like advantage can often increase your like overall damage by much more than just a d10. So you're probably not really gaining damage from that. You're definitely using it for one of the effects.
Which I guess it'd be up to yourself to see if it's actually worth it.
Yeah, one thing.
Advantage is incredibly helpful, but I don't know. Some of those features, being able to manipulate the battlefield a little bit, I think, I don't know if it's better than advantage, but it feels good too.
I mean, one question I would have, and I think they should probably clarify this, it says if you use reckless attack, forego advantage on the next attack roll you make on your turn with a strength-based attack, and then all the effects happen. What if you have advantage from another source as well as reckless attack? And my question, like, are you forgoing advantage entirely, or can you just not use the advantage from reckless attack? How it's written here, it seems like you're just forgoing advantage entirely, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think that should probably be clarified at least.
Definitely agree, because like you said, how it's stated, it doesn't specify, it just says in general. So yeah, that we could use a clarification, but overall, leaps and bounds in the right direction over Brutal Critical. Yeah, and the scale, kind of like scaling that it does could be better, but like I like that it scales. There's lots of features that scale in this game. Cool to see more features.
I think this is pretty good. I'd be happy if this released. Well, I mean, Barbarian maybe could use a little bit more, but this is much better than the 5e Barbarian, so I'd be okay with it if this released in the new player's handbook.
I would be okay. I agree. I think it could do some more.
And then the next change was to persistent rage. Now restores all of your uses of rage once per long rest, and then makes it harder to shut off your rage. Just the unconscious condition and not the incapacitated condition shuts off your rage. So yeah, when you roll initiative, you can just regain all uses of rage, versus last time it was if you had no uses remaining, I believe. Yeah. If you roll initiative and have no uses of rage remaining, you regain one expended use of it. So I mean, either way, I think that'll equal out to be about the same. I guess this version just kind of locks your rages to being in combat, whereas the new one, you just regain all of them. Like, you could choose to use maybe one or two of them outside of combat. Overall, like, this feature just makes it so you'll have rage as much as you want. And then one thing they didn't mention is that they fixed Primal Champion. Yeah, in the old version it said 24, now it says 26 is the maximum. This matters because the new ability score improvement lets you go up to 22. So now you can make either your strength or your constitution 26, and then the other one's 24, assuming you had a 20 before in each of them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's the small changes that add up. That's a great change. It feels awesome at level 20 when that's what, a plus 7?
That's a plus 8
plus
to hit
8?
If you have a 26,
yeah.
Or a plus 8 to your con, which can make you pretty beefy,
Yeah, either one still feels really cool. It feels... you feel almost borderline godly, so... I like that.
If you're able to get 20 dexterity and 26 con, then you have a 23 AC with unarmored defense. 25 if you use a shield.
That's how it should be at 20. You should feel like almost borderline untouchable. I think that's a good reward. Considering the previous level 20 features we've seen, I think that's a good reward.
I think this one's good now, yeah. And then on to the Path of the World tree. All the features changed in this one. First step, Vitality of the tree now provides temporary hit points to the Barbarian. So when you first activate the rage, you get temp HP equal to your Barbarian level, and then at the start of each of your turns, you can give the temporary hit points to an ally. I think that's how it was before. Nice buff there. You get the temp HP as well. This is definitely a good feature, but it's just hard not to compare it to the Twilight Cleric. But I mean, you know, if that didn't exist, then this would be pretty good.
I mean, it's definitely easy to compare it to Twilight Cleric because Twilight Cleric's just broken.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's not the point of this. Maybe it's not meant to be like Twilight Cleric.
It's still good for sure.
I agree with you. If your goal is temp HP and dispersing it amongst your party,
to be a support barbarian.
Yeah. But is this? Yeah, I think that this is it allows it to kind of dip in a little bit without fully encompassing that mindset, I guess.
That range is pretty short, another creature within 10 feet of yourself, but if you have another melee ally, that's probably going to be pretty easy to do. And I mean, still a pretty good amount of temp HP. When you first get this, that'd be 2d6, so it'd be probably around 8d6 for the whole combat of temp HP, plus the 3 that you're giving yourself, so not bad.
I mean, it's enough to boost you a little bit. It should scale pretty okay.
Yeah, it'll scale to 3d6 and then 4d6, and your level obviously scales.
That's important in my opinion because it's kind of like Twilight Cleric. With Twilight Cleric, you want to try to get as high of cleric level to maximize Twilight Sanctuary, and so this is another incentive towards level 20 of Barbarian. Less reason to
that's
leave.
True. It's more of a reason to straight class, which is always good,
So at least they're trying to not make it so front-loaded. They're trying not to make it feel like multi-classing is the only way through.
And then on to Branches of the Tree. Now activates at the start of a creature's turn instead of the end, which is huge. And then the range is increased to 30 feet, and the Barbarian can choose to reduce the speed of a teleported creature to 0. All really good changes there. I think this feature was pretty bad before, but now it seems insane, honestly. Just one strength save and you can completely shut somebody down if they're in 30 feet of you.
I think it's really helpful. I mean, obviously, the one issue with melee is that you can't move that far. You're only limited to what your movement is capable of.
Yeah.
This is helpful in that sense. Brings you in. I know that this didn't change or at least that specific part of this feature didn't change from the last time.
Well, it's a lot easier to like use now because it's at the start of their turn. Because if it's at the end of the enemy's turn, like it's a lot less useful. But now it's at the start of their turn, so you can like force them to engage with you and potentially like shut down their turn.
Yeah.
Because if they wanted to like run up to one of your allies and start attacking them, now they have to attack you because they're in front of you and their speed is 0.
And if they...
As before, it was 20-foot range, and they're probably just gonna run away from you and go attack the ally. So it's a lot better now. Pretty cool, like tanking feature, I think.
I think there's a lot of fun that can be had with that. I like manipulation of the battlefield. That's always fun. So this is cool to see. There's easier to make it happen. And yeah, like you said, one strength save and definitely change the course of how the combat goes. And I can already think of a bunch of scenarios in my head on how it could work out. So I think it's solid.
And then Battering Roots now applies its increased range only during your turn and only for weapons that have specific properties. The feature now clarifies that you can potentially use 2 mastery properties in 1 attack. I think that's how we assumed it was before, so they're just clarifying that there. And then now it can only be done with heavy or versatile weapons, and it's still a 10-foot reach increase. I guess maybe they thought the opportunity attacks from 15 to 20 feet away was too strong, but I still think this is fine. Getting to use 2 masteries alone is pretty good. And then travel along the tree has been redesigned quite a bit. Allows you to teleport yourself while your rage is active, and then you can teleport yourself and allies once per rage, a much greater distance. So it's pretty much like Misty Step or Far Step. When you activate your rage as a bonus action while it's active, you can teleport 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see, which is pretty good. That's a ton of movement, especially since you get the fast movement at level 5. You can move easily like 100 feet a turn. And then it's basically Dimension Door once per rage. 500 feet, up to 6 willing creatures. So that's pretty cool. Dimension Door once per rage, and then basically infinite. Versus before it was just one like kind of a teleportation circle plane shift hybrid. I still think it would be cool if they just got like plane shift once per long rest as a ribbon or something.
Yeah, I like the movement, the extra interaction with that. Like you said, getting up basically almost like 100 feet of movement out of it for a melee character. You just have so much potential for options.
Yeah, after you get this, you'll have pretty much no trouble getting into melee.
Oh, for sure. Or maneuvering around in melee.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you kill off one creature, you'll still have a chance if you have extra.
Well, it's teleporting too, so you'll avoid opportunity attacks.
So even if you can't finish off one creature, you can move on to another one. Say you're not doing so well and you need to get away. Lots of good interaction, so you can kind of have a backup plan. So I like that.
Looks like that's it for the Barbarian. In the next video, we'll be moving on to the Druid. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one.